RFL, as we get you set for that New Jersey debate at the top of the hour, we're going to revert back to our normal format and talk politics beyond just one congressional district in New Jersey. In fact, talking national politics and even a little global politics. And to do that, joining us at the table tonight, Jeannie Zaino, Dean and Professor of Political Science at Iona College. Dean Zaino, welcome back. Dominic Carter, you know him and love him, political journalist and author. And Brad Gersman, a New York political consultant and frequent guest here on RFL. Everybody, welcome. Thank you very much. Want to get into a new flashpoint that burst into the presidential campaign over the weekend. Not about jobs or spending or taxes, but rather marriage. On the eve of a key vote on same-sex marriage in North Carolina, the vice president weighed in with a new and a surprisingly frank view on the issue.
In an election year that's supposed to be about jobs, the focus is now turned to a social issue, same-sex marriage.
I am absolutely comfortable with the fact that men marrying men, women marrying women, and heterosexual men and women marrying women are entitled to the same exact rights, all the civil rights, all the civil liberties. And quite frankly, I don't see much of a distinction beyond that.
That sounds different than the president's view that marriage is between a man and a woman, even though Mr. Obama admits his view is evolving. The campaign quickly claimed there is no conflict in the two views, but gay rights activists believe the campaign is walking back from Biden's statement, even though he added,
"The president sets the policy."
This week, gay marriage is pitting two titans against each other in North Carolina. Call it the Battle of the Bills. Billy Graham, pastor to presidents, and Bill Clinton on opposite sides of an amendment on the ballot Tuesday. Even though North Carolina has a law against gay marriage, it's the only state in the Southeast that hasn't passed a constitutional amendment banning same-sex marriage, which is what Billy Graham and his son are advocating in a newspaper ad.
I want you to take a stand for God's definition of marriage, and that's between a man and a woman.
But opponents say the amendment is so poorly written, it could strip unmarried heterosexuals of some of their rights.
Amendment 1 could take away protections for domestic violence victims.
So former President Clinton's recorded telephone ad is being dialed to North Carolina voters.
The real effect of the law will be to hurt families and drive away jobs.
So it was just Biden being Biden this weekend, right? Maybe not. After Joe Biden's pronouncement this weekend came this shocker from another top administration official just this morning.
Do you believe that same-sex men and women should be able to get legally married in the United States?
Oh, come on. You're going to start there?
Yes, I do. Okay, so
have you ever said that publicly before?
I don't know if I've ever been asked publicly.
Flat out asked and answered, yes, I do. So is the administration slowly shifting its policy in accordance with the public? Perhaps. Check out these numbers from a recent poll. 52% of Americans say they support the legalization of same-sex marriage. 43% are opposed. That number in support is slowly inching upwards. Currently, 6 states in the District of Columbia allow same-sex marriages. In 3 other states, you can either a statutory or judicial recognition of same-sex, which hasn't taken effect yet. But in 28 other states, there are constitutional provisions that limit the definition of marriage to relationships between a man and a woman only. In the meantime, gay and gay-related politics has already been playing out on the campaign trail. Last week, Romney's foreign policy expert, Richard Grenell, quit his campaign just days after he joined it. Grenell is openly gay. His hiring was met with nasty comments from some far-right groups. And freshman Republican Nan Hayworth from New York's Hudson Valley has had some difficulty reconciling her own position here, her Tea Party politics, with her support for gay rights. It's highlighted on the front cover of the Wall Street Journal in an article last week. Congresswoman Hayworth, who, again, as a Republican from the Hudson Valley, has a gay son. She joined the Congressional LGBT Equality Caucus in November. She is one of only 3 Republicans in that caucus. Her stance on gay rights has not sat well with some of her more conservative supporters. The chairman of the state Conservative Party, Michael Long, has said that her membership in that caucus is a mistake. He has threatened to drop support for her if she backs an effort to repeal the Defense of Marriage Act. And as we bring the panel back in on this, let me start first with Joe Biden, because we're all used to what the comics say on late night TV about Biden. Was this Biden just being Biden, or was he actually giving us an idea of what the policies, what the administration's policy is going to be on same-sex marriage in a second term?
Go ahead. I think both. Look, gay marriage is a momentum issue as I see it. There's a few of them. There's marijuana, the legalization, and gay marriage, which is way ahead of that. Gay marriage, you can see in the states as it continues to pass state after state after state. New York just passed it. Is something that, as a Democrat, you have to have the base. And you look at the popularity numbers, you need to support gay marriage. I can't see it any other way. Obama needs to go in that direction quickly.
I don't think that Biden was speaking off of the top of his tongue, if you will. I think that it was clearly a message sent by the Obama White House for him to deliver it this weekend, and thus we saw Arne Duncan, the education secretary, do the same. I think that what's going on, whether the president actually evolves and comes along, I think what's really going on is that they are flushing out Mitt Romney, as you pointed out last week, the situation with his advisor, a man who's openly gay, quitting. I think it's a compare-contrast, playing to the base to a degree.
Jeannie?
This is utter insanity. The man is evolving. He's in his 50s. These people are older. They've evolved already. Everybody knows where Barack Obama stands on gay marriage. Everybody knows where Joe Biden stands on gay marriage. And yet the media lets him get away with this insanity that they are evolving. That is insanity. We know where he stands. He's not going to come out and say it publicly until after he's elected. And you know why? He needs to win these swing states. This is politics through and through. There's no other explanation. And the fact we let him get away with this is ridiculous. And by the way, they're walking this line because they're getting a lot of money from the people, the proponents of gay marriage, and right they should. But the thing is, we're letting them get away with this dual kind of message. It's ridiculous.
But quickly, this is a double-edged sword, I think, for the White House, because you've got North Carolina, Indiana, and Arizona that are swing states. Wouldn't a same-sex marriage or support of same-sex marriage bring the conservatives out in droves to the polls? And let's not forget a state like North Carolina, Dominic, with a large black population. This also divides on racial lines, and black voters generally do not support same-sex marriage.
That's why they're going both ways. That's why you've got Joe Biden out there saying one thing, the White House walking him back. Barack Obama is still, quote-unquote, evolving. It's ridiculous. They're trying to have it both ways, and you can't have it both ways. He should be called out on this, and he hasn't.
There's one other thing, though, here, is that what comes along with same-sex marriage is the discussion of religion, okay? And then when you have Mitt Romney in the race as a Mormon, whether we like it or not, religion becomes a center stage. And that's the Democrats would like, in the re-election of Barack Obama, to draw Mitt Romney into that religion debate, because he ain't going to win in it.
All right, well, we've heard what the panel has to say. We've got to hear from you at home. Is promoting same-sex marriage a political winner or loser, particularly for the White House in 2012? Head to our Facebook page, facebook.com/Richard French Live, to sound off, and we will get your comments in on a future program. But when we come back from a quick break, Europe on the verge. Stunning political shifts across the pond have given the American market some jitters. We're going to break down what it all means next.